Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of English poem. And today's topic is Nine Gold Medal by David Roth. Nine Gold Medal is a poem about an Special Olympics of a disabled players. The poem is regarding the humanity written by David Roth, who presented the idea of empathy and how human values are as important as the spirit of competitions. He says that sports is not only about the winning medals, they are also about the learning and the values of cooperations, sharings, competing, and complementing. So, in this poem, in Nine Gold Medal, poet David Roth he presented an idea of empathy and how human values are as important as a spirit of competitions. This poem presents the situation of race where the contestants leave aside their desire to win the medal to help a smaller and a weaker contestants. This what shows in this poem a humanitisms. So now let's start the poem The Nine Gold Medal by David Roth. So let's start with the poem. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold and silver and bronze. Many weeks and months of training all coming down to these games. So in this first stanza, it has been said that the athletes had came to win the gold, the silver or the bronze medals. They have practiced for many weeks, rather for many months of strong training, all to coming down to these games to participate in these games. So gold is given to the first position holder, silver is given to the second position holder, and bronze to the third position holder. So every participant wants to win the medals. They wants to come first, second and third. They all were practicing for long times to compete these competitions. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on the young women and men. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The spectators they were gathered around the old field. Old field means in a stadium. Old stadium. They all were there. They were cheering. As soon as the contestants heard the sound of the pistol, they wants to run because it was the final event, and the final events of every Olympic is 100-meter race. There was a huge round of the applause was going on. Spectators were there, they were shouting, they were cheering to the young men and the women because the final events of the day was approaching. Exciting was growing higher and higher. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them. The 100-yard dash and the race to be run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of gun. So there was a block of line was there. 9 contestants were there. They were competing in the final race. It was 100-yard race. They all were standing over there for the final sound of the gun, of the pistol. They were standing there. As soon as the contestant heard the sound of the pistol being fired, they all sprung into the action and ran forward to the race. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runner, all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell on the asphalt instead. As soon as the sound of the pistol came, all the runners, they charging ahead. But what happened? Suddenly, a young man who was the youngest of them, he falls down. He falls down and he gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts all dashed in a dirt. But as sure as I am standing with the telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. As soon as the sound of the pistol goes, all the runners took their stances and they ran, but the youngest of them, he fell down. He was now crying in a frustration and anguish because he was seeing that all his dreams and all his efforts were now dashed in a dirt because he was fall down. He was just thinking all his efforts are all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling the story, the poet is saying, I was there, I was here to tell the story that what has happened. When he fell down, what had happened? The 8 runners pulled up on their heels. The ones who had trained for so long to compete, one by one they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. So what has happened? Other 8 runners, they pulled up on their heels. That means they just stand there. They were not now running. They had forgot that they had been trained for so long to complete this event. All of them has done one by one. They turned back. They all turned back and they went to help that young boy to stand up on his feet. Then all the 9 runners joined hand and continued the 100-yard dash, now reduced to walk. And a banner above said, Special Olympics. Could not have been more on the mark. So what they have done? All the 8 runners came back. They helped that youngest contestant to stand up on his feet. They joined their hand and they decided that now they will not run, they will walk. And this is what a banner was saying. It is a special Olympic. It's a special Olympic which could not have any mark. It's a remarkable work done by all the 8 runners to help that young contestant, and they all joined their hand. That's how the race ended with the 9 gold medals. They came to finish line holding hands still and a standing ovation. The 9 beaming face said more than these words are well. So all of them, the race was ended with the 9 gold medal because all of them, by joining the hand, touched the winning rope. Spectators gave them a standing ovation as they were moved by the feeling of brotherhood and oneness displayed by the handicapped athletes. So the phrase the 100-yard dash, now reduced to a walk, describes the moment when the other 8 contestants helped their friend who had fallen down to stand up on his feet. Since the boy was unable to run, the other decided not to run either. See, what is the remarkable brotherhood is that all of them decided not to run, they will walk, and all the 9 contestants walk hand in hand to finish line. In other words, the contestant walked the distance of the 100-yard at the speed of the contestant who had fallen down. And all of them had won the heart of the spectators. All were shouting that yes, it's a Special Olympic. Special Olympic is actually for the disabled persons. And the brotherhood they had shown, it makes that Olympics a great Special Olympic for them. The contestant must have felt happy and united when they reached the finish line, still holding their hands. The 9 beaming face tells us how happy they were. How happy they were, it has been mentioned by the poet. So the 100-meter race, which is the most prestigious in any fast Olympic, the athlete who wins it is remembered as the fastest man on this world. But this Special Olympic has made them a great athlete. They all were the fastest man of this world. So this is what the Olympics shows, the brotherhood, the oneness of the heart. So that's all for this poem. I hope you have understand the poem, that how the brotherhood should be amplified by in a sportsmanship by a sportsman. So read this poem very carefully, watch this video also very carefully. We will once again meet in our next session. Till then, take care and have a nice day.